now we're going to practice stair training with our patient. When you have to demonstrate stairs for your patient and practice stairs with them, you do have two choices. You can either ambulate your patient to the stairs and then continue on them, or you can bring your patient in a wheelchair. Of course, if you bring your patient in a wheelchair, you want to make sure that first of all, after you position the chair, you want to have to make sure that your wheelchair is locked, the leg rests are away and not going to interfere with the rest of your activities. The patient has shoe wear that's appropriate, and the patient is wearing a gait belt. On the stairs, just like on level surfaces, you can ambulate your patient if he is weight bearing side rated, non-weight bearing, toe touch, or partial weight bearing. Today we're going to go over two types of weight bearing on the stairs. One would be full weight bearing or weight bearing side rated, and the other would be non-weight bearing. The first thing you should always ask your patient when you're getting ready for stair training is, does the patient have handrails at home? If the patient does have handrails, you always want to make sure that they do use them, because that's a very stable surface compared to the crutches. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over weight bearing side rated with two crutches, and I'm going to say that the patient does not have any handrails at home. Let's say that our patient's right lower extremity is the one that's weak. So I'm going to show this to my patient. I'm going to ask her now to stand up. And whenever you're going up the steps, you should always go up starting with the stronger leg first, going down with the weaker leg first. So in this case, I'm going to show my patient to keep her crutches on the floor first, step with the stronger leg, which happens to be the left, follow with the right to the same step, followed by the crutches to go on to the same steps. And again, it's the strong, the weak, and the crutches. Strong, weak, and crutches. In this environment, you have no other choice but to turn around. So just like you did with any other assist devices, you want to go in a little circle, using the crutches as assist devices, as that's what they are. Going down would be the exact opposite what it was as going up. You would have the patient bring the crutches down first, bring their weak leg down first, followed by the strong leg. One more time, crutches, weak leg. Crutches, weak, strong. Okay? So let's see if our patient can do this. Of course, we would want your patient to repeat this to you. To have the patient come up with crutches, you're going to put them in front of them onto the stronger side and have the patient hold the crutches like this. I just want you to pay attention to the fact that it's not like this and not like this, but specifically like that. That would be the best point of control. You would also have the patient scoop to the front of the chair. And another thing you want to make sure to tell your patient is that they're only pushing down with the hand on that side. They really should not be pushing on this. This is just for them to hold on to the crutches so that once they're up, they can get to the stairs. And the patient's going to take 2 steps to the stairs. And the first thing we're going to demonstrate is we're going to show you guarding the patient, going up with a minimal assistance. And going down, we're going to demonstrate guarding with a, let's say, standby assist. Okay? So I'm going to ask my patient to come on, stand up. And she's weight bearing style rated. Please split the crutches. And these crutches happen to be a little too short for her. So I'm going to ask her to hold the crutches again. Please put your hand where it's supposed to be. Put your hand down here and take a seat. Okay? And I'm going to adjust the crutches to the patient. I just happen to know how tall she is already, because I asked her, and I remember what she said. So this time I'm going to ask my patient again to scoot to the front, please. Come stand up. Okay, put the crutches around you. Make sure, as I'm sure already did with ambulation, is that you have to make sure the patient is not putting any weight in here. All the weight goes to the hand, and the patient squeezes the crutches against his or her ribs. Okay? So let's take a few steps forward. Crutches go first. Okay? A little bit closer. Make sure that when the patient is ready to ascend crutches, they're close enough to take the first steps, but because each step has a little lip, make sure that their foot is not really against the wall of it, because then what's going to happen, they're going to get caught in that little lip. Okay? And all the stairs are pretty much like this. Okay, as we're getting ready, of course I'm standing on the patient's weaker side. and I'm doing a minimal assistance. So I'm going to ask my patient to go up with a stronger leg first, and then a weaker leg, and then followed by the crutches. And continue like this. Strong, weak, crutches. Is one more time. Strong, weak, crutches. I'm going to ask my patient to make U-turn, turn around. And go down, my patient's going to do exact same gait. The difference is I'm going to do a standby assist. In this case, standby assist is I don't have to have my hands on the patient, but I have to be nearby. As the patient is ready to go down, another thing I want to bring to your attention is the fact that at the end of the step is where the patient should stand. If the patient stands too far away from the step, then obviously it will be difficult for them to reach the next one. So I'm going to ask the patient to come to the end of the black line. That would be the optimal place for them to start as they're going down. Okay? And the other thing, as they're putting their crutches down, make sure, so don't do anything yet, I'm just going to demonstrate, make sure the crutch is not too far to the edge, because what's going to happen is it's going to slip. And that would be very dangerous. Okay? So I'm going to do standby assist. I'm going to ask my patient to go ahead, bring your crutches down first. And now the weak leg and the strong leg. And crutches, weak, strong. Crutches, weak, strong. I'm going to ask my patient to walk to the chair. I'm going to ask her to back up all the way until she feels the chair behind her legs. Okay? Put the crutches together, just like you did when you were standing up. Reach back and slowly sit down. And that was way down accelerated with bilateral leg crutches.